Mayor, Klein Avenue.
Yes, sir.
I spoke with the governor on Tuesday, and you can watch that interview if you go to YouTube and type in VideoWJOB, one word, and you can watch that interview in video. And his two things out of that is, one, that he is saying that he's he's going to confer with his people from NDOT before making a decision on Klein Avenue. But he also talked about this other option of just basically privatizing Klein Avenue. Your comments on either one of those?
I'm not, I don't know. Until I see more information on the privatization, I'm not going to sign on, because you have to understand, first off, when you drive around Indianapolis, as you all know, there's no toll roads down there. Every time a bridge breaks, every time they do a construction project, they don't privatize it, they build it at the Hoosiers' taxpayers' expense. Why is it up in northwest Indiana or up in northern Indiana, we're seeing more and more of these deals where we pay the tolls? You have to understand, right now the state of Indiana, NDOT, has budgeted around $100 million to rebuild the Klein Avenue Bridge, Jim. And the problem is the bridge is going to cost more than that. It's going to be more like $130, $140 million. So there's a gap there, all right? Now, the question I have is, let's say this outfit does come in and privatize the bridge and charges us toll, $2, $2.50, whatever it is going to be to go through the Klein Avenue Bridge. Where does that $100 million that the state earmarked for the rebuilding go? Because I tell you what they're going to do with it. They're going to say, no problem, Northwest Indiana. Here comes this outfit. They're going to privatize your bridge. They're going to build it, and you guys, us Hoosiers, us Northwest Indiana region people, are going to pay those tolls, and the state's going to take that $100 million, and they're going to ship it down south. I'm telling you, that's the worst part of this whole deal is if we do privatize that, and we do charge tolls to go across that bridge, the state better give us that $100 million. But that's the problem, Jim. I'm telling you. They're going to take that money and they're going to ship it down to I-69. And we're going to end up paying another toll when we should be getting it for free. That's the problem I have. The state should rebuild that bridge. Now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. The state should rebuild that bridge just like they rebuild I-16, just like they're building I-69, just like they're rebuilding the infrastructure all around Marion County. They should rebuild that bridge at the Hoosiers' taxpayers' expense. Why is it that we have to pay for this? You come to Northwest Indiana, there's going to be tolls everywhere. It's not fair, Jim. And if we are going to privatize it, if this is the direction we're heading, they better take that $100 million that they earmarked and give it to all of us up here in the region so that we could use that $100 million to fix up the other roads. If they gave us the $100 million and let us privatize it, I'd be open-minded. But I'm telling you, they're not going to. They're going to say, no problem, region, privatize that bridge, and they're going to take that $100 million, they're going to ship it down to Indianapolis or Bloomington or someplace far away from the region. You watch.
219-845-1100. What do you think, Victor?
Hey, Vic.
Hey, Tom. Hey, Jim. Good morning. Every time I hear privatize something that belongs to taxpayers, I think we're being robbed.
We're going to get robbed, Vic. I'm telling you.
We are getting robbed. We're getting taken to the cleaners so badly, and half the people are going, yeah, it's okay.
Well, the thing is, people are desperate, Vic. They want that bridge, and I understand that. But you have to understand, we got to make a business deal here. If we take the entire cost of the bridge based on our tolls, we're going to pay tolls to this private company. Private company is going to take our tolls. They're going to make money off that bridge, and that state's going to take their $100 million, and they're going to go south, and we're going to get royally screwed.
Yes, sir. Hey, thanks a lot, Tom. I'll listen.
Thanks, Vic.
219-845-1100.
That was a term of art. Royally screwed.
How is Mark Mossel really the only vocal, proponent of the detour?
I don't think Mark's a proponent of the detour either. If you
he's the
remember
only guy I could get in here to talk about how his if I can summarize what he had to say here to me was Mark Mossel. If you guys are wondering who that is, it's the head of the Northwest Indiana Forum,
right,
and they represent a lot of large businesses along the lake. And Tom's dad used to be, in Mark Mossel's position. So Mossel said, you know what, everybody would love to have the bridge. We understand that. But we have to look at it that there's, important projects all over the state, and we have to look at it as in a fiscally responsible way, basically echoing the governor's stance.
Right.
So he's really the only guy I could find to come on and talk like
Jim,
that.
initially, though, you have to remember, when the bridge first went down, I think everybody was working with the state pretty well. Before we knew that they had no plans to rebuild the bridge, they came and they talked to us in Hammond. They said, listen, this is going to be a long detour. this bridge is going to be out of commission. And we said, listen, we'll work with you, NDOT. We understand stuff like this happens, right? And initially, everybody was very cooperative. And then when the state came out and said, we're not going to rebuild this bridge, we're going to do the detour, most of the region, including Mark Mazel and Dave Ryan at the Lakeshore Chamber, and Lee Morris, the chairman of the Toll Authority and chairman of RDA, most of the region people said you got to rebuild this bridge, Mark Mazel included.
Okay, but that's not what he's saying now.
But I'm telling you the truth, and Mark would tell you if you asked him point blank, everybody locally was on board that we need to rebuild this bridge. And then what happened was these people from Indianapolis started cracking the whip, and people started falling into line, Mark included. And I'm not trying to disrespect Mark. I like Mark very much. I've known Mark for a long time, but the whip was being cracked, and people like Mark were told, get in line. You're on the team, get in line. And they all got in line. Okay, all of them, except for Mayor McDermott and very few others. Linda Lawson, Lonnie Randolph, Senator Mervan was out there, Frank Mervan, the trustee, was out there. There was very few people at the end of the day that were fighting NDOT and the governor. They were cracking the whip, Jim, and most people started falling into line. Mark Mazel was initially with us.
Okay, but all right, so if I could just connect some more dots then. If you look at the lakefront here, you have BP is what you're telling us is against the detour. Okay, then you have left like Inland Steel or Arcelor and U.S. Steel and some other smaller mills that represented by the forum here. Then it just doesn't make sense that Maso would still be standing up for the detour option.
Well, listen, initially, think about it. Initially, the casinos were against it. Everybody was against it. When the whip started getting cracked, everybody started falling into line for NDOT, saying we can do this detour. I mean, think about it, Jim. Ameristar Casino, the most affected business in the region when that bridge shut down, they fell into line. I mean, when they fell into line, I was like, what the heck did you guys get promised? You're ruining your business, but they're agreeing with NDOT.
Okay, so to further that, then you're saying that they have somehow been pressured into.
There's no doubt. Pressured is a very nice word. I say crack the whip. They fell into line. And they did, Jim. And they did crack the whip. NDOT cracked the whip. They were cracking it on me. There were financial penalties for Hammond shortly after this. We paid hundreds of thousands of dollars more on a project because we didn't fall into line like everybody else. That's fact. It was in the newspaper. Fact. Hammond suffered financially because we refused to play the game and say that this is a good idea. This detour is good for the region. I refused to do that. I protested the governor, and Hammond paid for it.
Let's go to Spike on line 1. Hi, Spike.
Good morning, Mayor Donna Jed. Listen, it seems like the governor is very ludicrous in speaking the way he does. He wants to bring industry and business into northwest Indiana, expansion of the Gary Airport, yet the people from Illinois have no way to come to these businesses or to industry. Yet go through neighborhoods. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's not punishing the Democrats. He's punishing every taxpayer of Northwest Indiana.
The businesses are coming here in spite of the infrastructure, right, Spike?
I totally agree.
I know. I agree with you too, sir. Thanks for
a lot,
calling, Spike. Take it easy, man. Now, this is a guy that stuck with us, by the way, okay? From the Federation of Labor, Dan Merchek. Dan, I said a lot here in the last couple minutes. Dan was right there with us. Dan, tell me that I was telling the truth or not. Please.
I'll tell you, at the beginning, everybody that the mayor was just talking about wanted this bridge rebuilt. We were all on board, all on the same page. We had numerous meetings at Ameristar Casino. They were nice enough to host the events there and meet. And something happened that I wasn't involved in, and you only can speculate who were some of the players. And next thing you know, they came in, and Bob, I think it's Zira, came up, and we're talking about algae towers and other stuff, and we're all looking at what are you talking about?
The algae towers.
Yeah, algae towers. And taking railroad cars and making them flower pots or something like that. Seriously.
It's true.
And they dropped the bomb on us. And then, it just, there was something that happened, and I'm not going to name a couple individuals, but they have work around the state. They do, their contractors work around the state, and they were involved in it. And they pulled me to side five, and they said, we have to back out. If we don't back out, we don't stop being vocal, that's going to jeopardize our business around the state. And the whip was cracked on some people.
True statement.
And that's what happened.
True statement.
But I agree that it needs to be rebuilt. It should not be a tollway. It's been free. It should be built free. The state has a surplus. We sold the toll road off. Let's use some of those dollars and find a solution that work for this. God forbid if there's ever a major incident up in that area, BP, Amoco, or some other places where there's some nasty, nasty chemicals that can kill a lot of people or start harming a lot of people. You need a way out. It also hampers the development of the Gary Airport. To and from out of Chicago. There's a lot of reasons this bridge to be built, and hopefully we can get this accomplished. But the mayor's right on that. You know, I don't speak for some of the folks he was talking about in any way, shape, or form, but I can tell you, I was told by a couple of people that said I got to take a step back, or it's going to cost us in the long run.
Absolutely, Dan is absolutely telling the truth. And there were people that said, "Listen, we agree with you guys, but it's not for us to keep fighting NDOT."